So, of course, I think it's really smart of Miocic to go call out Tyson Fury. And we've seen crossovers happen now. So I believe it's a possibility it could happen. And I think it's a great seed to plant. But, of course, Tyson Fury says he wants to fight Wilder first. I think he has some things going on in boxing. I don't think Stipe has the time to wait around. Therefore, I think he will eventually fight Daniel Cormier. And, and I think someone like Tyson Fury is a guy who I believe when they say they'll cross over into MMA. When other people say it, when Floyd Mayweather said, I said, there's no way in heck. If I'm Stipe Miocic, I campaign for one fight in boxing and one fight in MMA. I think Tyson Fury is the type of guy to do it. We just saw him do WWE. I think he's an adventurous guy. We seen him training with Darren Till. And you know what? I thought he looked pretty good dropping knees and elbows there. And if he can learn how to sprawl and brawl and get back to his feet, he could be a dangerous guy. So, I think, again, it's smart of Stipe to plant the seed and just to create some buzz about it all.
I think there's a little bit of gamesmanship going on with Stipe right now. I think that he feels like Daniel Cormier made him wait to get that rematch, and he's now going to turn the tables on him. There's one thing, though, that I will say, and I've said this time and again. A, Daniel Cormier had back surgery last December, so that delayed things. And B, the UFC tried to book Daniel Cormier versus Brock Lesnar. This wasn't Daniel Cormier's idea. Now, of course, he was very excited about the idea and he campaigned for it, but that's why things got delayed. And the moment that fight was no longer an option, then they turned their attention to Stipe. So I don't think it's necessarily fair to say that I'm going to now do to Daniel what Daniel did to me. Now, he didn't actually outright say that, sort of alluded to it. He doesn't seem all that happy with DC, A, for that reason, B, because he says he poked him in the eye multiple times and that led to eye surgery. So first things first, he has to recover and be able to compete and be medically cleared to compete. But I think the fight that makes the most sense right now, I think the fight the fans want to see, to be honest, more than any, is the trilogy for multiple reasons. The two fights were great. I don't agree with the notion that the second fight was decisive. I mean, DC was winning the early portion of that fight. And the idea that DC is fighting in a retirement fight and trying to go out on top, like this is just great theater, right? Can Stipe beat him? Can he send him packing? Or will DC get that one last victory? I mean, that's a promoter's dream. Very rare has there been, three great fights, trilogy fights, especially in the heavyweight division. I'm thinking of JDS Kane as maybe the most notable one, but this is special stuff. And so let's get this out of the way. Maybe another fight against Francis, although I don't think that's as pressing right now. I don't think the fans are clamoring for that. I think they are clamoring for the DC fight. And by the way, I did a poll recently asking the fans what they wanted. Fury was on there, John Jones was on there, Francis was on there, and DC was on there, and DC won that poll pretty convincingly. So I think the fans want it as well. I think as champion, there's a sort of duty to defend the title. I know he's not happy with DC. I know he wants to kind of stick it to him, but I want to focus on that DC fight, and maybe down the line we can focus once Tyson Fury is free from his boxing contract. He has 3 fights left. Then we could focus on a fight against Tyson Fury, the Gypsy King.
Ariel, I couldn't agree more. Again, I think it's smart of Stipe to plant that seed, but the reality of it all is Daniel Cormier is the fight for him. DC will have his last fight, is what he's saying, against Stipe, and I like the idea of that. They had one fight where Stipe got knocked out. In the second fight, it was a very competitive fight until Stipe chopped him down and got the victory. I get what Stipe is saying by winning decisively or trying to compare it to a lucky knockout, but the reality of it is they are 1-1, and there is some unfinished business. So let's close it. Let's close the door on it. Let's do the rubber match. Let's see who wins. I as a fan, am looking forward to that rematch. I hope it happens, and you win this round. I believe Cormier is the next fight for Stipe.
And by the way, boxing owes us. We just saw, not that long ago, one of our own, Conor McGregor, go to boxing and lose that fight. Well, now I feel like if we're going to do this thing all over again, now the boxer has to come to MMA, right? And I like the idea, by the way. I like the idea of, like a sort of two sport like little tournament here. The first fight is MMA, the second fight is boxing. It has to be first MMA. I don't want to see the MMA fighter go to boxing just yet because I feel like we saw that story. Now, can Stipe pull it off? Absolutely. I'm not trying to doubt him, but we just saw that. So the idea of Tyson now saying, all right, I'm going to go over to mixed martial arts and I'm going to prove to you guys that I am the ultimate fighter. That to me, at least right now, is a little more appealing than Stipe going over to boxing eventually, at least for right now.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports and analysis, download the ESPN app. And for live streaming and special content, Subscribe to ESPN+.